Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. This video, guys, is a bit of a different video, kind of a controversial video, and we're going to be talking about some definitions here and just kind of learning things, just my opinion on animation. So I know I talk a lot about live action and video games and all that stuff, but I don't talk too much about animation. I'll cover the SpongeBob DVD or the Ninjago season here or there. But I really wanted to talk about, I guess, the difference between a kids show and an animated show, because there is a difference. So I'm going to talk about two terms here, and then we're going to move on. So the first, in case you don't know, is subjectivity or subjective, which means that, you know, I could say that, I don't know, the Lego Ninjago movie is a great animated film, and you say, oh, that's subjective, right? I love the movie, but you might not like the movie, and that's fine. You know, I think you're crazy if you don't like it, but it's fine. You don't have to believe that, right? That's subjective. Everyone thinks different things. And then there's objectivity or objective, which means that it is a proven fact, whether you like it or not. So, for example, I'm wearing a blue shirt. You know, that's objectively fact. The sky is blue. The earth is round. All of this stuff are flat. Objective, you know what I mean? All of these things. I don't know, another example could be water comes in a water bottle. Okay, that's objective, that's fact, right? Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi was 100% in character. Objective. So now that you know the difference, and yet you probably do, I don't think you guys are, I'm not treating you like you're stupid, but I'm using that in my discussion. So I thought I'd just give you a little bit of brush up. So subjective, objective. So moving on to kid shows versus animated shows, right? I've been growing up where friends or different people in school or in online or sometimes even, you know, family, they would not necessarily bully me, but they would be like, oh, you're watching that kid's show, or you're watching that kid's movie? Oh, that's for babies. You're what, 12? That's for 2-year-olds. Or, you know, I watch Pokemon and they go, oh, that's for babies. Or, you know, I build Lego sets, right? And they go, oh, isn't that for kids? You know, it's just, you hear that so much. Weak people or people that don't have a strong sense of will can get, you know, they feel like poop, you know. But me, I'm not saying I'm the strongest guy in the world here, but I think I'd be a Green Lantern, right? I have a pretty strong will. If someone tells me you're watching a kid's show, I tell them straight up, you're wrong, it's an animated show, you know. So basically, when people say kid's show, really, this all kind of stems back to the beginning of animation, right? With like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, or like Steamboat Willie, or, you know, stuff like that. You know, newsflash, when Walt Disney was making animated shows, or, you know, these little cartoon shorts back in the day, they were meant for adults. They didn't have adult language or sex or gore, but they weren't meant for little baby kids, you know. The adults took their kids to see them. And then, of course, they would have, you know, there are kid shows out there, right? Now, I'm going to discuss that now, but when I say kid show, I mean PBS Kids. So, like Arthur, Dinosaur Train, Barney, Caillou, I don't know, just stuff like that, stuff along those lines, right? When I say animated show, now you're probably thinking, well, franchise, all that stuff is animated. When I say that, I mean, you know, if one of my buddies, like Alan, if he walked up to me and he was like, hey, Brennan, you want to watch an animated show? Sure, which one? But if he was like, hey, you want to watch a kid's show? I'd be like, no, I don't want to watch a kid's show. I'm not a kid, you know? I'm not 2. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch PBS Kids or something like that, you know, or like, I don't know, Breadwinners or something like that, you know. But if you were like, hey, you want to watch an animated show? I'd be like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. So when I talk animated, I mean specifically shows that it kind of falls under the umbrella of adult shows, so like Invincible or The Simpsons or Family Guy, Rick and Morty. Those are animated, and they are under the umbrella of the animated show term because they're for adults only. And I know kids watch them, but they are meant for adults. And then you get stuff for kids, like I said, PBS Kids and all that. And then you get that middle ground in between, which is the animated show umbrella where it really begins. So you have stuff like SpongeBob SquarePants, Regular Show, Adventure Time, The Looney Tunes Show, The Adventures of Tintin, Ninjago, Scooby-Doo. I don't know if I said Looney Tunes Show already. There's different Lego things. I'm trying to think. Teen Titans Go. What other shows do I watch? I mean, there's just Star Wars, you know, Rebels, Clone Wars, Resistance. Man, I mean, the list could go freaking on and on. But I mean, that is the animated show. That's where it begins. And you might be thinking, oh, franchise, well, kids watch those all the time. Of course they're kid shows. And again, that's where I say objective, you know, you're wrong. And again, it's hard to hear that sometimes, that your opinion is wrong, but it's like saying the sky's green, you know. Just because, newsflash, I'm going to drop a bombshell here. Just because something is suitable for kids or appropriate for kids does not mean that that subject matter or movie, TV show is meant for kids only, you know. Like, I'm 22, and all of my friends are over the age of 18, and we all watch Ninjago, SpongeBob, Regular Show, Tintin, Adventure Time, Lego. We watch all of that stuff. But we're not kids, we're adults. Because it's for kids and adults. That's the big difference, is that a lot of these shows are for kids only, like Caillou Arthur, or Thomas, or Barney. And then you get stuff like I said, Simpsons, Rick and Morty, blah, blah, blah. Those are for adults only, probably 16, 17, 18 up. And then you get the stuff, like I said, that is for kids and adults, like Ninjago, Regular Show, Adventure Time. And there's that big stigma, and thankfully we're kind of past the stigma where animation is only for kids. That is objectively false. Animation as a whole, if you're looking at, you know, everything, it's objectively for all ages. And if you disagree, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. And I don't want to sound like a jerk, but it's truth. And I do think that you know, like I said, you get these shows like SpongeBob and all that, and yeah, kids watch them, but they're not for kids. They're suitable for kids. There's a because if SpongeBob was for kids, I wouldn't be watching it, because they'd be you know, directly facing the audience. They'd be directly facing you, like Dora, teaching you Spanish, teaching you morals and lessons. You know, a lot of these shows have morals and lessons, but they do it in a way that a kid can understand as well as an adult, right? Like, for instance, one of my best friends, I was watching. I've been trying to get him to watch Ninjago for freaking like 10 years now. I was like, hey, Ninjago, it's not a kiddie show. It's for all ages. It's animated. It's great. It's for everyone. And he was always like, nah. So I finally got to. I showed him the first 2 episodes of the season 1, right? We started season 1, and he's hooked. He's like, dude, this is a great show. I'm like, I freaking told you, you know. So we're halfway through season 1, and I plan on watching season 1 through 10 with him whenever we hang out. And I'm so glad because, you know, he doesn't have to like it. That's subjective, but objective. It's not just for children. And I think a lot of the stigma evolving animation is that you need to watch it to believe it. You know, unless, you know, there are boomers out there and older people who grew up in a time when they were like, look, that's for children and that's what I believe. Even though they're wrong, that's what they really truly believe. So I think what we need to do to fix the stigma that, you know, animation is for babies is to really show them that animation as an adult. Show them Regular Show. Show them Scooby-Doo. Show them Ninjago. And then they don't have to like it, sure. That, you know, if they don't like Scooby-Doo, whatever, it's fine. But for them to still say, oh, that's for babies, that's for 2-year-olds. After watching it, it's like, it's crazy, you know what I mean? So, the original stigma that it's only for kids, thankfully, has died down a lot, because we are getting more adults and teens watching these quote-unquote kids shows. But now we're in another stigma age where, you know, people like to call things kid shows. And maybe it's just me, but it's a big pet peeve of mine, and that's the point, you know. If someone said, hey, you want to watch a kid show? And I said, sure, which one? And they said, Regular Show. I would say, wait a minute, that's not a kid show. It's an all-ages show, you know what I mean? And I don't want to try to get all political and PC correct, but it's true, you know what I mean? Going, you know, with all this animation stuff, I normally talk about live action, but I wanted to touch upon this because it's something that, you know, a lot of people don't really think about because, you know, huge animation freaks like myself, you know, when I was a kid, sure, I was watching Pokemon and Scooby-Doo, but it wasn't only for kids, you know what I mean? It was appropriate for kids. Big difference there. But when I was in high school, you know, there'd be the occasional asshole going, oh, you like Pokemon? Or you watch the Lego Movie? That's for kids! And, you know, it's just, you just gotta look at them like, look, how stupid you look, you know what I mean? Look at the facts. I went to when the Lego Movie 1 came out in 2014, yes, I was a kid, well, technically I was like 13, so teenager, but, when I was in there, I took me and my cousin and one of my buddies from school, and we were the only quote-unquote children in the movie theater. Everyone else was an adult. And it was the greatest thing in the freaking world, man, because the stigma is Lego, and Lego anything is for children only, right? You're an adult and you play with Lego bricks, or you build Lego sets? You're a baby, you know what I mean? Grow up. It's wrong, you know? It's really objectively wrong. So, it made my freaking day, man, watching the Lego, and in fact, Batman, Ninjago, and the Lego Movie 2, and really any animated movie that I see now, before, you know, China virus hit, is that they are all, every time I see, I swear to God, maybe there's 1 or 2 kids, but what's funny is that I noticed, like I'm saying, all these animated kids movies have adults in them. But the adult movies, like the MCU or Star Wars or DC, you know, movies that are for teenagers and up, not children, those have all the baby kids. You know, like when I saw Infinity War and Thanos freaking snapped Loki's neck, which was not something for kids, there was a little kid in the theater going, "Yay, Loki!" And I almost clocked the mom. I'm like, why would you show your child a guy getting his neck snapped? You know what I mean? Because it's not for kids. So it's funny that these people online and these people I know sometimes, they always like to go, "Oh, it's for babies." But it's always reversed when you see it in real life. You know what I mean? The internet makes you believe things, right? Star Wars haters, the fandom menace, it's the same thing. All Star Wars is good. You need to just experience it in real life and not take internet, you know, so dear and near to your heart. You know what I mean? A lot of people read online that SpongeBob is for kids. And they believe it, and it is, but it's appropriate for kids. You know what I mean? That's the difference. So again, I just kind of wanted to touch upon the stigma. Tell me in the comments what you think. So again, pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, like I said, it was just growing up in a time where I would get ridiculed a lot in school for liking something. And now, as an adult, all my friends are adults, and we don't watch the adult animated shows. We don't watch Rick and Morty, or, you know, we do watch Simpsons, but, you know, we don't watch, like, the really gory, like, manga or anime. You know, we don't watch that. We watch the shows that are for everyone. You know, kids, teens, and adults. SpongeBob, regular show, Gravity Falls. And what's funny is that other stigma is that people like to look at it and they go, "Oh, well, you know, if you want to watch a good animated show with a good story, you got to watch Invincible, or you got to watch Rick and Morty, or you got to watch The Family Guy, or, you know, whatever." But what's funny is that if you actually watch them, a lot of these adult animated shows are basically just swearing, sex, violence, drugs, poop, fart jokes, and that's it. You know, that's what passes for adult content. But if you watch the kids shows, which again, we just talked about how they're not kids shows, they're animated shows. Ninjago is appropriate for a kid, but more teens and adults watch it. And if you just look around you and just realize that and just watch the world, you know, all my friends are adults. I'm pretty sure you know someone who's an adult who watches animated shows. And it's just really funny that, you know, you look at it, and Ninjago, it's the first time I cried at a TV show, and I'm a dude, I don't cry much. I'm not saying dudes can't cry, but I'm one of those dudes that doesn't cry that much. And the show, I forgot, you know, it's a good story-driven show, you know. It goes over a lot of kids' heads, and really the teens and adults will really relate to it because it's got, you know, themes of death and loss and mourning and sorrow. And yeah, it's got comedic moments and action, but, you know, a lot of it's just funny how these people on the internet say one thing, but if you actually live through your life and experience it, it's the complete opposite. So, again, I'm done ranting, I'm done talking, but I thought it would be kind of an interesting video to talk about the difference between a kid's show and an animated show. Hopefully I, you know, made it clear. Put again, kid's show is something that's only for a kid, and all ages animated show is something that is in fact for every age group. So I think we need to stop calling it a kid's show, because if it's not, you know, if we're talking about Sesame Street, sure, but if we're talking about SpongeBob regular show, Adventure Time, you know, I know zero kids that watch it. All my people that watch it are adults. So again, it's kind of funny, and it's just something that always bothered me. It's one of my pet peeves when, you know, I say, "Oh, I saw the Lego movie," and they're like, "Oh, that's a kid's movie." It's like, oh, no, it's not actually. So I just have to correct people on that, and I don't like to correct people on things, and there's not a lot I do correct people on. You know, maybe they'll pronounce a Star Wars planet wrong, and I'll be like, "Oh, it's Canto Bight, not Canto Bit," or something like that, you know. But I'm not one of those people that, you know, go, "Oh my God, you're wrong." You know what I mean? It's just, I just thought it'd be an interesting topic, so I thought I'd cover it. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. This was pretty fun for me to make. Again, it's something that I'm very, I like to believe is objectively fact. You know, animation is for everyone, and I think we're in that realm of possibility where it's pretty much fact. You know, I mean, you look at Avengers Endgame, 99% of that movie is an animated movie. It's all CGI. And CGI is animation. So it's just, you know, people need to wake up, smell the roses, just kind of realize what they're saying doesn't really make a lot of sense. So again, hope you guys enjoy. Again, make sure to tell me what you think. If you're going to just, you know, biatch in the comments, don't even comment. I'll delete you. But be respectful, be nice, and I'll be nice back. And again, great topic. If you want me to talk about more animated shows like Gravity Falls, or SpongeBob, or Adventure Time, regular show, Ninjago, tell me in the comments, and I will shout you out and do it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.